Business, your truck, and your road to success in the trucking industry. This is Trucking Business and Beyond, the show that puts the money where it belongs, back in your pocket.
Welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. The website is letstruck.com. The show is all about the business of trucking. Today is the Power Hour. We'll take your calls and answer your questions about everything maintenance. Engines, performance, modifications, fuel mileage, troubleshooting, emissions, new technology, you name it, we'll talk about it. All you have to do is pick up the phone and ask the question. I've got John and Ethan with me from Pittsburgh Power. Looks like Bruce is here as well. And we'll be getting to your calls and questions in just a little bit. Bruce, welcome.
Well, thank you, Kevin. As always, it's our pleasure.
Great to have you here. We'll bring John and Ethan in. Hey, guys.
Great to be here, Kevin.
Great to be here, Kevin, too.
All right, so we have the first string. I can sit back and just press buttons, right?
That's right.
My world has been reduced to taxes, taxes, and more taxes. I am now dreaming about taxes.
I don't like that word. That's almost right up there with the cancer word, taxes.
Yeah.
I asked Amy, I said, what did we pay income tax this year? She said, you don't want to know. I said, no, tell me. She said, you'll be too upset. I said, tell me what we paid. She said, I can't. You'll just be too upset. And when I think, people say, hey, I'm in the 30% tax bracket. Well, being we're a sub S, we're like in the 300% tax bracket. It's terrible. But what Trump has done has really helped.
It has.
We've seen the paychecks go up and our tax bills go down.
Yeah, we can see the difference in the numbers in our business. We do payroll tax, which, that's every week, week after week after week. Then you have quarterlies, then you have your year end, and yeah, it's a lot of money. And, I've always said, as much as I hate taxes, I still want to be the guy in the room who writes the biggest check to the IRS. That's just our system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That means you're doing pretty well. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know about that paycheck thing, Bruce. Ethan and I just we didn't notice anything yet. So.
Yeah. The good news is we are all paying less tax this week, or this year. I mean.
That's right. Well, we just finished our first owner-operator snowmobile conference. We had to move it from Utah because they didn't have any snow up to Cook City, Montana, and they said they had 16 feet on top of the mountain, and at one time, out of 9 sleds, we had 7 of them stuck.
Oh, boy.
So we got off the top real quick, and we had a pretty good trip. But it snowed for all 3 days. We only had about 4 hours of sunshine. Our next one is going to be the 1st through the 4th of March at Togety, Wyoming. And we're trying to get rooms at the Togety Mountain Lodge. And I had to follow in Aaron's footsteps and turbocharge my snowmobile. And I got 200 horsepower on 450-pound machine, and it's a beast.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah.
It got me into trouble. It got me in places 4 times where I shouldn't have been, but I survived it.
I didn't back out though.
Yeah, oh yeah. I didn't start out riding snowmobiles at 4 years old like Aaron did. So.
Yeah, in the mountains too,
But it's fun.
Yeah, a big difference. I snowmobiled some when I was younger, but it was in the Midwest, where you barely had hills, much less mountains. And I remember my first time way, way up at altitude, Wolf Creek Pass, and buried the snowmobile, got off to try to get it out, and sunk chest deep into the snow and thought, okay, now what do I do?
You wait for help.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there's no help, you get the double out and you start digging.
Yeah.
But anyway, these turbocharged sleds, whether they're a Polaris or a Skidoo, they'll go 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds.
That's incredible.
They're quite the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. So
anyway, I'm in Blackfoot, Idaho, and I'm going to be driving down I-15 here in about 5 minutes. So anybody that sees a red Dodge pulling a silver 4-place snowmobile trailer, blow your horn. And even if you're going northbound, I'll be going southbound.
all right. Sounds good. I know I talked to Aaron yesterday. He got back. He was on his way back trying to work in a pickup truck yesterday. My question was, you're not driving that same pickup you're trying to work in, right? He wasn't, so that's a good thing. So we've got him back to work. This is just a really, really busy time for us. We are swamped, which is a good thing, but I'm not getting a lot of extra stuff done. I have a lot of travel coming up. There's so much going on in the industry right now. I am getting multiple requests to speak. And for a couple of years, I just stopped doing that. It was too much travel. But this year, there's so much going on. I'm speaking, I think a couple times a month for the next 2 or 3 months. So lots of travel, lots of work. That's a good thing, though. The economy looks good, so everything's looking up. What do you guys have anything mechanical, since this is the Power Hour?
Not a whole lot new. Yep.
John just sent me pictures yesterday of a Dorothy installation on a new X15, and it was a beautiful installation.
Yeah, that one almost looks factory. It came out really nice. So really, really happy about that one.
Now, we're also in the process of writing the directions for them.
Yes, we're making progress with the mail order kits. We've got directions for about 3 installations done now.
Yes, John Sturch is doing a real good job there.
We've finally got jigs I'm happy with and installations I'm happy with. So we had Sean's doing a terrific job. He's a little more talented with all the computer stuff. I'm okay, but he's got the ability to put arrows on pictures and all sorts of stuff that I'd bumble around with for too long. It wouldn't be efficient. So
yeah, he asked me questions when he needs it. Yeah. I took a class dedicated to Microsoft Word. So 18 weeks of just learning that.
So Sean's made a couple of really nice instruction booklets. So hopefully the mail order versions will be on their way out shortly. We're still having anyone who's got a pre-order to asking them to come in and have the installation done here. And the more installations we do here, the better the kits are going to be when we finally release them. So just all little differences and such that we see, we could compensate for the more we do here. So that's been a lengthier process than I ever thought, and I apologize to anybody who's been waiting for one for 6 months now. But we are making big progress with that. We're right now doing about 3 installations a week too, so they're starting to get out there.
Good.
And I'm traveling with one of our remote tune-up kits. I just did my first remote tune-up on an Acer Caterpillar here in Blackfoot. It's a heavy haul truck, so he grosses $165,000.
Got it. All right.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. While we've been talking, I've noticed that our board has stopped responding again. And I'm wondering, this only seems to happen on Tuesdays. I'm wondering if it's because we have multiple lines. So, Bruce, let me try to put you on hold for a second. We're going to probably go into the break before we get to any calls. But I'm wondering why this happens on Tuesdays. So let me try to reboot things here on the switchboard and see if we can get this fixed. Bridget thinks maybe she's got it. Mine's still...
I'm voting government conspiracy.
I think so too. I was blaming it on the North Koreans, but I think I'm going to start blaming it on the Democrats. They're out to get me. Oh no! Wait a minute. I've got a better one. I think it's the IRS. I'm saving people so much money on tax; they're coming out to get me.
That's it. You're saving people so much money. There you go.
Oh, whatever it is, I'm still stuck, though, so we're going to have to take this into the break. Let me...
It's a bunch of bunch of Russian bots calling in. That's what it is.
That could be.
Do you want to have Bridget call me back? Do you want me to hang up and have Bridget call me back to see if it's this phone?
Yeah, I don't think it's the phone. Everybody sounds good. It's that our switchboard just won't reboot at all. So let me take this into the break, and we'll try to fix this and come back. It's kind of hard to take calls if I can't get the switchboard to work. So check out the website. It's letstruck.com. If you don't have our app yet, get the app to listen to the show. So the app does one thing. It does it really well. You download the app. It's free. You open it up. You can listen to all our shows anytime you want. You can listen live. You can listen while we're recording. You can listen to back shows. We have years' worth of shows loaded into there. You can listen to the Power Hour, Destination Health, Questions from the Road, Larry Wingett, you name it. They're all there. We're going to get to a break. We'll be right back. Stick around. Kevin. Back. I think between Bridget and I, we've got the phones working again. Let me see if I can bring Bruce and John and Ethan back in with us. Looks like we've got it. So we are going to head off to the phones. We're going to start off in Tennessee. Dave, welcome to the program.
Hey, so I got a question. I've got a Series 60 12.7. And the circles I'm traveling in, everyone's saying bull gear, bull gear, bull gear. To me, that's like a dog barking. You don't know if it's something that needs to be taken care of until it pees on the rug. Can you tell me what a bull gear is, if it's something that needs to be looked at, like preventive maintenance-wise? Because it sounds expensive, whatever it is.
John?
Well, it's
Bruce?
a big gear in the front. It's
Good,
a big
Bruce is
gear
there.
in the front of the engine that the crankshaft turns, and it turns all the accessories, and it has a huge bearing right in the center of it, and that bearing is good for 800,000 miles and or more if you've kept your oil clean and have bypass filtration. And if the engine's still running and hasn't been rebuilt yet, you run it, and you can run it past the 800,000, but when it's in chassis time, you replace the bull gear.
Okay, so if the oil samples come back clean and you're not looking at an in-frame anytime soon, that's something that needs to be done before an in-frame?
No, run it until you need to do an in-frame.
I've seen it,
Okay.
so you'll get a slight advance notice, because if the bull gear wobbles back and forth, it'll hit what the Detroit calls the secondary reference sensor, sometimes referred to as the cam sensor on them, but it's not actually on the cam, and it'll hit and destroy the sensor right before it fails. So if you start getting that code and you pull the sensor out and it's all chewed up, pull the front cover off.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the
that
call.
Was great, Ethan.
Yeah. We're off to Texas this time. Mike,
We've seen
welcome
that
to the
here
program.
a few times.
Oh, go ahead, Ethan.
Yeah, we've seen that here a few times and gotten lucky, and they put a new sensor in and drive it here, and it still has a problem. We pull it out, it's all chewed up, and that only means one thing. It's hitting something. That's the bull gear.
Got it. Good advice. All right. Mike in Texas.
Hello, guys. You got me?
Yep, go ahead.
Hey, how are y'all? Hope everybody's good. So, Kevin, I just bought a 2013 Cascadia with a Cummins. I got 253 gears in the rear. I pull tanker 90% of the time. And pulling that tanker, man, I can't get over, 6.5 average. We do pull flatbed 10%. And pulling the flatbed, I'm up in the 8, 8.2, 8.3. I do only drive 62 miles an hour. My question is, what's the first thing I should do to help with that?
Uh-oh. You're really starting to break up there, but I will address what I did here because I'm confused. I heard in the 6s with a tanker and in the 8s with a flatbed, something about that makes no sense whatsoever. There is nothing about, in fact, if anything.
Pulling a tanker.
Go ahead.
Pulling a tanker, I'm averaging, 6.5. 6,
Now,
6,
let me ask.
And I'm still doing the same thing.
Well,
62 miles an hour.
That's what I was going to ask you. I thought maybe when you did the tanker, you did more local and more stops because that's common with tankers. But if you're running the same basic routes and areas, there is nothing about that makes any sense at all. In fact, the tanker typically should get better fuel economy and more consistent fuel economy because the aerodynamics never change. And with a flatbed, they change on every load. I'm just not – John, could you think of anything that would cause that? I mean, that makes no sense to me at all.
No, you'd want to check the alignment and make sure there's no drag or anything wrong with the tanker, if that's the case.
Okay, that could be the case. I pull different tankers all the time. Sorry,
Right.
Sorry, Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Does this tanker have the walkway on the top and the framework where you can stand and
Yes, sir.
you have the framework around you?
Yes, sir.
Well, if it has all that, Kevin, you once said that mirrors take 0.3 of a mile to the gallon. When you look at some of these new tankers, and I think it's all for safety when the guy's up on top of the tanker, there's that metal railing and the walkway and things, and I'll bet that tanker's not getting good aerodynamics with that railing up there.
Could be. I mean,
And it's got the ladder hanging off the side. I mean, there's all sorts of drag, I think.
Yeah, well,
I just didn't know if air tabs maybe flow below, something like that.
Well, all of those things help. I mean, I've even seen tests with air tabs on, the back of the tanker itself and on equipment. I know you can't do that. These aren't your trailers. But on the tractor, any aerodynamic improvement we can do is going to help. And air tabs and flow below are inexpensive. They both help aerodynamics. So I would certainly start there. That's just really unusual to see that kind of difference. Do you have a scan gauge?
No, sir.
I would get a scan gauge because what can happen sometimes is if you're not really keeping detailed fuel mileage records, and because sometimes I'm sure you fill up and part of that tank might be a flatbed and then part of it might be with the tanker, so that's going to screw up our numbers. And with the scan gauge, we could get instant feedback. Now, it's not always accurate fuel economy, but we don't care. We're just using it for comparison. So I would be interested to see if we absolutely see that big 2 mile per gallon jump every time you switch trailers.
Well, now I only fuel, enough fuel for that trip, so I never pull a tanker and a flatbed on the same fuel.
Okay.
So it's accurate, and I do have an ELD, and I know it's not 100% accurate on fuel mileage, but, that's pretty close to the numbers ELD's given me also.
Wow.
About a 2 mile per gallon jump, so I'm kind of confused as you are.
Yeah. Bruce may be onto something. All that framework might be doing it, or maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe we've got all that framework. Maybe, you might want to make a note of the tires on the different trailers and check rolling resistance. they may be speccing these trailers with wildly different tires. Maybe it's going to turn out to be 2 or 3 different factors, but boy, that one is stumping me. So I guess we could move on to what can we do to fix your fuel economy overall.
Yes, sir. My next question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my next question was, the Pittsburgh Power. I never get up to Pittsburgh, unfortunately. Is there somewhere down in Texas that, you guys would recommend or that are partners of yours that I can get some stuff done? And that's all I had, Kevin. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Ethan, can we do on the remote tune, can we change the speed of that turbo?
No, not easily there, Bruce.
Not on the DD. That's DD15, right? Oh no, it's Cummins, isn't it?
Yeah, Cummins.
That is a Cummins in that one. ISX in that, even though it's a Cascadia, it was a Cummins. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a few of them.
We could tune that. Yeah, we could do that one remotely.
Yeah.
Okay, but you said it was a 13, right? Yeah, that's a 2250.
2250.
Yeah, 2250. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, so we could do remote tuning. We've got 3 guys. We've got 3 shops in Texas, all around Dallas. Unfortunately, all 3 of them are pretty centrally located. But yeah, all surrounding Dallas to the west and north of Dallas, I believe.
Hey, John, do you happen to know what the names of those shops are?
We've got an individual named Patrick Weeb, who's a show listener. Patrick is. He's down there. He's in Seminole, Texas. We've got Josh. What's Josh's last name? He's in Montauk, Texas. And we've got Triple C Transport that's somewhere in another Dallas-Fort Worth suburb. I forget the fellow's name there, but it's all on our website. If you look to our website, I just updated the remote tuner list yesterday, so it's very current. So if you go to find a dealer, you'll find the list there, and it's by state. It's alphabetical by state. So just look down to Texas and you'll find it. Our newest remote tuner is Bruce Mallinson. He's got a kid he's keeping in his pickup truck now, so you'll have to add him to the list.
Do we have Bruce wandering around on the streets again?
We do, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get to a break. We've got more coming, so don't go away. Check out the website. It's letstruck.com. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. I know this isn't the tax show, but I'm going to take 30 seconds here to let you know I do have a Facebook group specifically for the new tax law, understanding how it's affecting the trucking industry. Go to Facebook and search, not a Google search, do a Facebook search for understanding the new tax law in trucking. Very active group right now. I'm posting everything I can find about this. We're posting all of our new tax strategies. We're answering questions. Free tax reviews. You'll find the form there. So check that out. We'll be right back with more stuff. Stick around. Kevin Rutherford. Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The website is letstruck.com. This is the Power Hour. I've got Bruce and Ethan and John here with me, and we're going to get back to your calls. We are off to Canada this time. Terry, welcome to the program. Oh, hold on. There we go. Terry, go ahead.
Unmuted?
No, you're good.
Okay. Hey, I just bought my first truck. It is a 2007 Century Class. It's supposed to have 1.1 million miles on it. He does not have a lot of records. We did oil samples before we made the purchase. We got it for a really pretty decent deal. And so I'm not too worried about putting some extra money into it. I went to have the dyno, and they said it's about 30% short of power on the dyno. And the first thing you said is you need $5,000 for a set of injectors. And I said, well, you called me for this. And I said, I left it there with a bad tire that's off the wheel. So you put it on the dyno with a bad tire? I said, did your technician say anything about the tire? And he said, well, no. And so I'm like, okay, obviously you guys are not the people I want to be working on my truck. Where can I go to get information? And would that actually make any difference on a dyno? I'm not a mechanic. I'm a truck driver. I admit that. So where do I go from here, I guess? Do I look for a different mechanic? Do I?
Let me say this, and then I think Ethan and John are going to finish it. If you're down 30% on power, the first thing you do not do is put injectors in. You check your ECM settings, you check your fuel pressures, your turbo boost, and you check your whole intake system for a boost leak. There's a lot of things that you check first before you go putting a $2,600 set of injectors in a truck. But Ethan,
right.
Ethan, you want to take it from there? What you would see in the ECM?
First, I want to do is if you don't know it, is to know what the rated horsepower is. And every dyno
supposed to be rated
different.
It's supposed to be rated at 550, is what I was told when we bought it. Now that is not what is spec'd on the original, but the original engine was redone supposedly just shy of 300,000 miles ago. So they may have done something different, but I don't know what, because we don't have any records for that.
So in that case, you'd have to look in the ECM and see what power it's rated for, because someone could have changed the rating based on their application. And being that you don't know much of the history, we don't know. Second is every dyno reads a little different, so you have to have a good dyno operator to interpret your results. Did they tell you what horsepower it did?
Yes, at 375, or that's okay. That's he said he rounded it to 375. So
okay, it definitely sounds low there, especially with a 550 rating. But we've seen many times if it has low fuel pressure, right, there's a massive loss of horsepower. Plug fuel filters. It's always the first step.
Okay. Oh, and the boost leak always.
Boost leak.
Yeah.
I would do the basics.
Or some sort of derate, or it's being told to not make that horsepower.
Does it have any codes?
It did not have any codes that he mentioned, but like I say, I'm a mechanical know-nothing, and that's why I'm calling you guys, because this is my first time down the first rodeo, so I'm trying to get some information and find out. But I've driven diesel pickups and that. And low power does not always mean injectors right off the bat. And I knew that. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute, guys. This doesn't sound right. And the fact that you missed a tire right off the bat, which should have been your first comment to me, tells me, and this is a dealer. This is a dealer in the area. And so, I mean, they should be doing a pretty decent job. I don't know if it's the tech or the dealer that I should be looking for somebody different.
Good tech's always good to start with.
Say what?
Bring it to us.
I'm sorry, you're stepping over each other there. I didn't get it.
Go ahead, John.
Hello.
Okay. Where are you located? Why don't you bring it to us?
It's in Utah, and I run from Nogales up into Canada produce.
Okay.
And so it's kind of out of the way. We can do that, and I had planned on doing that eventually. And even if I just had to PC it out there myself to do that, but I'm trying to get a good start, and I don't want to destroy anything before I get started either. So I want it running as best it can in that area. Right now, it's sitting in Utah, and
Hey, hold on a second. I'm going to be in Utah until Friday.
I'm leaving today out of Calgary and supposed to be there Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning.
Where in Utah?
Salt Lake.
Well, I'm going to be up at Park City until Friday.
That's 30 miles, 15 miles away. I'd be more than willing to pay some money to come up and have you give me a good look over. I mean, that's at least the data that I've got. And then maybe even, if you want to come down and take a look at the truck and give me a once over, like I say, I'm willing to pay that. That's money well spent.
Do you think you could bobtail it up to Park City?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah, bring it up to Park City.
Yeah,
I'll hook into it. You can take a look at it.
Let me get a number from you guys that I can call. I'll write that down, and then I will give you a update as to what my ETA is when I get into Idaho, because I'm supposed to pick up in Idaho, and I'll know when I'll be getting out of southern Idaho, headed south to Salt Lake.
Okay. By the way, there's radar set up on I-15 north, just north of Pocatello on the northbound side. So, but
yeah,
at
they
80 mile an hour speed limit, nobody should have a problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's 70 for the trucks.
Okay.
All right, Bruce, you got a phone number for us?
Yeah, if you've got a number.
Hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call the shop and ask for John.
John?
724
360
4080.
So 724-360-4080?
Yeah.
Oh, 360-4080. Okay, never mind. I got it.
And John will
Stupid drivers.
get in touch with me. No,
okay, that'll
John
be
will
awesome.
my cell phone.
Yeah, give me a call and I'll get you. I will get you Bruce's info. Yeah, just call here. Call the shop here at 724-360-4080.
Okay, and ask for John and get Bruce's info.
You got it.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thursday afternoon, late in the afternoon. No, it can't be too late because Ethan will be gone. Okay.
Nope, I can always do
first thing Thursday morning or first thing Friday morning would work.
Yeah, Thursday morning would be awesome if I can get in Wednesday night. There's supposed to be a storm, and so that's gonna, it's a little over 1,000 miles, so that's it's gonna be tight if I have a storm. But we'll get it figured out. So, and if not, I should be in there. We'll figure it out when I call you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'll call John.
And what's your first name?
My name is Terry.
All right, Terry. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Bruce. And John, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, let's see. We are coming up on a break, so I'll get us into the break and we'll come right back. We'll get to more of your calls and questions right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back. Check out the website. It's letstruck.com. Make sure you get the app. Just do a Google search for Audio Road. One word, AUDIOROAD. Google search, look for the Audio Road app. The first two links that come up should be the Android and the Apple
mga